TikTok family, what's going on? Micaiah Dominguez here. I am taking a little break. I have a client in about 40 minutes. So I'm just here to chit chat a little bit about a session that I just had with a client, and her own insight is what inspired this last post that I just posted. I'm sitting in my office just chilling, between clients or whatever, trying to enjoy this beautiful Friday. But a client shared with me that what she learned about herself is that, and what she is declaring over herself at this point, is that she is not going to allow the circumstances of her life to keep her paralyzed any longer. And we were sitting in session just looking at each other. I am a therapist and relationship specialist. I'm talking to my client and she drops this bomb on me. She says, you know what, Micaiah, I just will not allow myself to continue to be paralyzed in this circumstance. I am not going to allow myself to be stuck, to be stunted, or to feel debilitated by the circumstance that I am faced with right now. And as I'm sitting in that session with her, I said, you know what? Wow, this is what I live. This is what I teach. This is what I model for my clients. This is what I talk about during my lives. We cannot be victims to our circumstances. And today is the start of summer. Today, it's a new season. Although your circumstances may not have changed, you can decide today that this is a new season for you. The natural flow of things is that no circumstance can last forever. The natural flow of things, the natural order of this universe is that seasons change. And you could decide right now that you are no longer going to be in a season called stuck. You are no longer going to be paralyzed by circumstances in your life that keep you from being able to make decisions that need to be made, that keep you from being able to walk into opportunity or to cut things that don't belong anymore, to walk in alignment with the things that you need in your life to bring you to a next level of healing, a next level of authenticity, a next level of attunement to yourself and to those around you. You could decide right now that you are no longer going to let the circumstance predict or inform your mindset. You're not going to allow your conditions, your circumstance, your relationships, your job, your financial standings, what it looks like around you to predict how you're going to feel or how you're going to show up. You can flip the script and decide at any moment, and I'm inviting you to decide today for yourself that you're not going to allow the circumstances of your life to victimize you. That you can choose right now that you're done with that. You can make the decision that you are not going to sit back and allow life circumstances to whoop your ass. You don't have to. Now, in the video that I just posted, I did speak to the fact that, of course, you're going to feel affected. Of course, you're going to have feelings about what's going on in your life, especially when there are a number of situations beyond your control. People around you may be stirring up conflict. People around you may be making bad decisions that impact you. People around you may be combative or full of conflict and chaos. Your workplace may be toxic. Your friendships might be riddled with issues. Whatever it is that you're up against, financial distress or political distress, cultural, societal distress, I want to let you know that those things, while they impact you, while it does have something to do with how you're going to feel on the day-to-day, I'm reminding you that you have power to make a decision, that you do not have to be a victim to those circumstances, a victim to those feelings, and you can claim your power back by walking in faith, knowing that the season has changed, even though the circumstance does not yet reflect that. I'm reminding you right now that what is happening in the natural with the change season, right? Even if there might be rain where you are, even if there might be thunderstorms where you are. I'm in Georgia, so we already know Atlanta's been crazy with the thunderstorms. But I'm here to let you know, even if what's right in front of you looks like it has not changed, even if your circumstance, the relationships, or whatever stress and strain you're under is still presenting itself as problematic, you can decide to flip the switch to an internal locus of control. I get to decide how I'm going to show up. I get to decide what I'm going to be doing from here on out. I get to decide my approach to these situations. I get to decide to what level I'm going to engage in these situations. I'm going to decide that I'm not going to be paralyzed. Although I may not have total control of what is going on, what I can control is me. Although I don't have total control over what other people do and say, I don't have full control over what's coming next. I cannot fully predict what is going to happen, but what I do have control over is me. What I am going to do is check in with myself and make sure that I am not in a victim state. Make sure that whatever is going on, I am in full control of me. I have choice power to show up as someone who has I'm a force to be reckoned with. You have power. I'm losing words because I'm trying to really say this eloquently, but there is no way. It's like this is a bare bones message today. I don't have all the clinical language around this because it's really not even necessary. This message is so simple that although I am a therapist, I don't need to wrap clinical words around it. You have deciding power. You get to sit with what you're up against and decide, although this is what's happening around me, to me, although this is impacting me, I am not going to let it steal my joy, steal my peace, steal my power. I still have deciding power. No matter what it looks like, I want to encourage you that you still have deciding power. You could still decide to stand. You could still decide to walk in your freedom, walk in your joy, walk in renewal, walk in this new season that is available to you. You absolutely do not have to be a victim to your life circumstance. And I know certain situations are hard. I'm up against something hard right now. I promise you I am. It is beyond my control. I've been in prayer all morning asking God, what do you want me to do in this situation? Give me wisdom, being extremely prayerful. God, what do you want me to do or say? What are the actionable steps? What can I do? Who can I call? Where can I have resources? What is the next move? And for some of you, you're asking yourself those same things. I don't know what to do in this situation. And maybe you've been asking yourself that question so much that you felt paralyzed, that time is passing you by, opportunities are passing you by, your life is passing you by, where you're trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do here? Feeling completely out of your wits, feeling completely like this is out of your realm of influence. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. God, I need you to help me with this. And I want to encourage you today that the help might be in the form of a decision. Your help, your change, your transformation might be wrapped up in a decision that you're not going to allow a situation beyond your control to steal your focus, your purpose, and your power. You can decide today, I'm fed up with this. I am no longer stuck. I'm not going to wallow here. I'm not going to suffer here. I'm going to make a decision. Even if there isn't a solution, I'm walking toward my joy. I'm walking toward what makes me happy. I'm walking toward what's going to fill me up. I'm walking toward my healing. I'm not going to stay here and feel defeated. I'm not going to stay here and feel defeated. You have that choice. I want to remind you of that choice, that you have a decision to make. Will you remain stuck? Will you remain a victim to whatever is going on and whatever people are saying and whatever challenge you're up against? Are you going to choose to remain stuck in that? With your wheels turning, with no answers, are you going to choose to remain stuck in that? Or are you going to stop for a moment and get aligned with you, knowing that you have full choice power to step out of that circumstance, to rise above that circumstance, to not feel burdened by that circumstance? Yes, you may be crying. Yes, you may be fearful. Yes, you may be anxious or worried about the outcome. No, you may not have all of the resources to handle what you need to handle. No, you may not have all of the solutions, but I promise you, If you are to honor yourself, you will not allow external factors. You will not allow the external locus of control to influence exactly what is going to unfold in your life. You get to step back into that power, especially during the change of season, especially when nature is showing us, it's modeling to us what it looks like to embrace change. Your circumstance won't last always. Your circumstance will not last always. The one thing that is never changing is change. The one thing that you can predict and count on is the fact that seasons will change, circumstances will change, and you have full permission to continue to grow, develop, and change as well. You do not have to sit still, sit back, and just wait until your life circumstances change in order for you to make a change. And again, I'm not talking about finding solutions, because sometimes there isn't one. Sometimes you can't make sense of a situation. Sometimes you are being tested, and the test is, how are you going to show up differently? The situation or circumstance may not change, but you may have to decide, I'm going to change in it. And maybe that newness of the season shows up when we decide that we are going to be new. Thank you, Nola, darling, for being here and for liking the live. When we decide that we're going to become new, everything around us changes. Even if we're up against some of the same difficulties, I promise you that when you make the decision to shift, when you make the decision to change, it is a game changer. And you do not live the same life with the same pressures and the same stressors when you decide that you are no longer going to be victimized or paralyzed by a situation. No, I will not. I will not bow to this circumstance. No, I will not. No, I will not sink in despair. No, I will not. I'm going to rise above this. No, I will not be held captive or be chained to this horrible event that is taking place in my life. And that is the nature of trauma. Trauma happens to us and steals away our ability to be present in time. It keeps us stuck in the back then and back when. And then we are not able to move forward. We are frozen in place, stuck in place, and left to pick up the pieces when everyone else around you, the world keeps going. Everyone else around you has continued to move forward, and you feel stuck in time. But I want to empower you today and remind you that you do not have to feel stuck. And even when there's heaviness, and even when there's fear, and even when you're not sure which way to go, you can remind yourself that you do not have to be victim. Yes, I was hurt. Am I a victim? No. Yes, I was taken advantage of. Am I a victim? No. Yeah, this person is playing in my face, but am I a victim? No. No, not unless I choose to be. Not unless I choose to be. But today, with the change of season, I keep pointing to my window outside. With the change of season, you get to change how you show up in this new season. Things may not have changed yet, but you are on the precipice of change. Things may not have unfolded the way you're looking forward to them unfolding yet, but you are on the brink of change. You are so very close. You cannot let a situation, circumstance, or person talk you out of or walk you out of the imminent change that is coming. You've worked too hard. You've been too dedicated. You've stood 10 toes down. You've done too much work, too much journaling, too much crying, too much praying, too much fasting. And I'm talking to myself as well. You have worked too hard to allow yourself to unravel and be undone and get back into a sunken place based on other people's decisions, behaviors, actions, maladaptive patterns. You do not. I'm telling you, you don't. And it may feel like you have no choice. You may feel like you're sinking in quicksand, but you are not. Be lifted up. Lift up your head, O ye gates. Be ye lifted up. I'm telling you, raise up. Raise up, stand up, and decide, I'm not going to be a victim to this. I know I don't have control in this, but I know who does. God has control ultimately over when this circumstance is going to end. And if it hasn't changed yet, despite all of my efforts, despite all of my anger, despite all of my sadness, despite all of my attempts, then maybe there's something that I'm to learn about this season. Maybe there's something I am to learn about this circumstance. For me, it was, I need to learn how to use my voice. I need to learn how not to be the victim to other people's decisions. I need to learn to let go of the need to control what's going to happen next. I need to let go of the need to have things look good, feel good, be perfect, and be predictable in order to feel safe in my own life. But my safety, my assurance doesn't come from the circumstances of my life. It can't. And so that was my lesson. And maybe that's the lesson I'm offering to you today, is that you cannot wait for your situation to be stable, to be good, to be predictable, or to feel safe before you start living. You've got to live your life because time is not waiting for you. Life is not waiting for you. The seasons are going to continue to change. What will you do to keep up with the pace of the change is to look at yourself, reflect, and ask yourself, what is it that I need to be learning right now? I learned I cannot wait for my situation to look perfect, shiny, glossy front in order for me to be able to be happy, in order for me to be able to feel joy, in order for me to be able to be at peace in my life. When my idea or my definition of peace revolved around what was going on in my life, I was never at peace. If you're constantly looking outwardly for your sense of stability, safety, and peace, you will never have those things. Those are always in motion. Things are always changing, and that is giving way too much power to things that are unpredictable. To people that are unpredictable. Your anchor must be from within. Your resolve to live must be internally driven. Your commitment and determination to reach your goals, to be at ease, to be in flow must come from within, because that is all you got. If you are externally motivated and the only things that keep you grounded are the people around you or your workplace stability or your finances, what happens when those things go awry? What happens when those things erupt? What happens when those things are shaken? You're no longer on steady ground if that's what you're rooting yourself in. You cannot grow roots into things that are unstable. You cannot attach yourself and your value, your worthiness, and your quality of life. They cannot be attached so firmly to things that are outside of yourself. Those things need to be grounded from within. So when I make the invitation, as a therapist, as a friend, as an auntie, as a 40-plus woman, as a happily divorced and remarried woman, what I'm inviting you to consider is that maybe too much of your investment into your happiness is placed in the hands of other people, or placed in the hands of a workplace, or placed in the hands of external motivators that should not hold that much power when it comes to how you feel about you, how you perceive you, and how you're going to show up in this world. When I'm inviting you to take your power back, when I'm inviting you to decide that you will no longer be paralyzed by the circumstances of your life, that's what I'm asking you to consider. Where have I placed my power? Where have I placed my happiness? Where have I placed my peace? Are those things that are dependable and stable? Are those things firm foundations for my joy and my peace? Or have I erroneously placed my trust and faith in things that could never offer me stability in the first place? That's what I learned. That my understanding of peace and joy before were rooted in things like my marriage. And so what happens when I got divorced? I felt confused. I felt depressed. I felt out of control. I felt a loss of identity. I felt grief like I've never known. But my joy and my peace and my faith should not have been so firmly rooted in a person who, first of all, wasn't even stable. That's one. And had a track record to prove it. That's one. But also, those external things should not hold so much power to dictate how you're going to feel about the quality of your life. That really does come from within, or that comes from above, whatever it is, whatever framework you're using. But that cannot be placed in the hands of man. That cannot be based on the circumstances of your life, because that means that you would need to be on pause until everything looks perfect. That your life would need to be put on pause until everything comes together. But what does that mean? You are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. What does that mean? You will be constantly in a state of waiting and not living. If you're waiting for a circumstance to get better, if you're waiting for a relationship to improve, if you're waiting for that new job, if you're waiting for that next opportunity to be happy, to be present, to feel fulfilled, to feel worthy of living this life, you've got another thing coming. You won't be on pause for a long time. Life may never seem perfect. I hate to break it to you. Life may never seem like every single detail is together. It may not ever feel like every I is dotted and every T is crossed. And that is just the nature of life. But we don't have to wait for perfection to fully live. We don't have to wait for perfection to fully live. And let me tell you something else that I learned. Peace is not contingent upon the circumstances. Your peace, your presence, your purpose is not reliant on life circumstances. That is solely from in here. That's solely based on a decision to stay locked in. That is solely from a decision to stand 10 toes down on what you know you want, need, and deserve from this life. And you cannot wait, and you cannot depend on someone else to afford you that. Hello? You get to decide. Today is the day that I'm going to take my focus off of my situation. Today is the day that I'm going to reframe how I'm seeing things. Today is the day that even though I can't control the outcome, I can be settled and at peace within myself. And when I do that, everything changes. I can walk into this new season. When I take my eyes off of the circumstance, I could see the opportunities. When I take my eyes off of the circumstance, I could get out of my feelings long enough to practice gratitude. I mean, deep gratitude and appreciation for how far I've come. When I take my eyes off of the circumstance, I realize, oh wait, I got some power left. I got some reserves left. I got some autonomy left. I got some agency. I could decide what this day looks like for me. I could decide what this week looks like for me. I could decide what this year is going to look like for me. Come what may. Those things are not going to shake me, shift me, or distract me from what I know I need to do for myself. And I mean that everything from basic self-care, right? Maintenance, I'm talking brushing your teeth. I'm talking about getting in the shower. I'm talking about getting up, getting dressed, and being ready for your day. Certain relationships, friendships, workplace, certain challenges will take you clear out of being able to do any of those simple things on a day-to-day. You got to remind yourself, wait a minute. If I'm overwhelmed, that's showing I'm focused on the wrong thing. This is not where I should be putting my trust. I've got to believe that there is something greater. I've got to believe that I've been equipped and empowered to do better. I've got to believe that I have choice power and I have an enablement to be able to shift my life. Our words have power. Our commitments have power. I want to thank you for being here. Yeah, you've got to leave the circumstances and the situations that drag you down and drain you. Because thriving is available to you. You can thrive. Nola Darling is a testimony. She's sharing her testimony in the comments. I hope y'all are reading. Bought a new home after leaving something toxic. Thriving now. Finishing school. When we take our focus off of the things that don't deserve our focus, when we actually lock in, we look inward and we get in alignment with what we are called to do. When I tell you, I don't say this lightly. I know that certain situations can take the life and hope out of you. Certain situations will have you with a lack of sleep, a lack of focus, a lack of peace, feeling sick, in the hospital, autoimmune issues popping up, and all types of stuff. Mental illness that had never existed before. I know it to be true. Life circumstances. I don't say this lightly when I say take your eyes off of that circumstance. I'm in one right now. I promise you. When I tell you I woke up in prayer, I woke up seeking God. Hey, Tanisha, I woke up seeking God. Lord, help me with this. I've done all that I could do. I made every call I could make. I sent all the emails I could. I've settled myself. I've looked at my responses. I've looked at my intentions. I have grounded myself. I have fasted. I have prayed. I have cried out. Lord, what do you want me to do? I know that there are some life situations that will cause you to cry out in pain, cry out with anger. What do you want me to do? I have done all that I can. And I encourage you today that although there are situations like that in front of you, where you have no idea what to do next with that, I'm encouraging you to refocus on what you can do with you. I might not be able to control that, but what can I do with me? I could decide to get up. We can start there. I could decide to get up out of this bed. I could decide to take a shower. I could decide to dress like I'm going to conquer this day. I'm going to decide that I'm not canceling any clients today. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm encouraged. I'm deciding that I'm going to get on this TikTok live. I'm deciding I'm going to send the emails I need to send and do the work I could do and release the rest. I'm deciding that I'm going to stay faithful. I'm going to ask God to help me. I'm going to stay locked in with my faith. I'm going to not look at my circumstance. I'm not going to let it dissuade me or distract me. I'm going to choose my focus. And in this season, I'm going to embrace the new. Today marks the day of a new season. Today. And I'm deciding to walk in that truth. Today is a new season. Today is a new season. And it might not look like it and it might not feel like it, but it is truth. Today is a new season. Now, will you choose to lay aside every weight? Will you choose to put down those things that are outside of your control and look inward and ask yourself, what can I do today that's going to reflect my trust in God? What am I going to do today that reflects my trust in my intuitive leading toward my purpose? What am I going to do today that is going to allow me to decide that I will no longer be paralyzed? It's so good to be seen. Okay, Major, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here. What am I going to do? If you don't have the answer to what am I going to do about that, what am I going to do with me? What am I going to do to honor me in this? What am I going to do to respect me in this? What am I going to do to love me in this? What am I going to do to get me through this? If I can't change the outcome of that situation and I've done all that I could do, then all I'm left with is me. What will I decide? That I'm not going to sink into the depths of despair and depression. I've got to talk to myself. I've got to encourage myself. I've got to make the decision that I will lean on the truth of what is going on. And that is, it is a new season. Regardless of how stubborn, how arrogant, how crazy other people might get. Regardless of how stubborn the situation may be and how long I've been cycling through these patterns of dysfunction with people that I cannot escape. What can I do to honor myself in this? I'm going to acknowledge the truth that seasons shift and I will move with time. I will be in flow with time. I am not going to let life pass me by dealing with the nonsense of other people. And while I may feel dismayed, and while I may feel discouraged, and while my feelings might be hurt, and while I might be angry or confused, I will not be stuck. I will not be paralyzed. I will not let that freeze sensation happen because my nervous system is crashing out. I will not. I will not be frozen in place. I will not be stuck. I will not and I cannot. And you have come too far to allow yourself to be stuck. You have worked too hard to allow yourself to be paralyzed. You have prayed too long and waited for some time to get here. And you are right on the edge of breakthrough. You are right there. And this may be an opportunity for you to show yourself that you have healed to the extent that you have. This might be an opportunity to show yourself that you are who you proclaimed that you are. This may be an opportunity to yourself. This may be an opportunity to yourself. And I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna allow for people to come on and say what they want to say. Hopefully, let's keep it respectful. Oh, it went away. I was gonna start letting people come on. I want people to be, if you're gonna ask to join, to be respectful, to share your perspective, to be an encouragement. I have 12 minutes before my next session. So if you do want to pop in, you do have something to share, you do want to encourage others, please do. I'll let you on. Let's hear what you got to say. But I just had to pop on very quickly, because again, my client today, when she shared that with me, you know what, Micaiah, I realized I can't let this circumstance paralyze me. I have been frozen in time for too long. It's time to thaw out, baby. It's time to get these summer vibes. Let the sun come through. Thaw out. Thaw out, baby. Thaw out. Let that sun warm you up. Let this sun bring you back to life. Let it be recharging. Let it be rejuvenating. Let it be refreshing. Let it be the strength you need. I'm telling you, get that battery in your back. You have come too far to stop now. You cannot let it paralyze you. You cannot let it paralyze you. You cannot let it paralyze you. I don't know how many more times to say it. You cannot let it paralyze you. You cannot let them paralyze you. You cannot let the circumstance paralyze you. You cannot let the job paralyze you. You cannot let sickness paralyze you. You cannot let sadness paralyze you. You cannot let debt paralyze you. You cannot let anything. But let me just share. And I don't out myself all the time, but I was in a hospital the other night. Out of nowhere, I had to go to the ER. My head was spinning. My circumstance, having to deal with certain people, having to be up against the challenges that I've been facing for over 5 years now, had literally caused my head to spin. And out of nowhere, at the big age of 42 years old, I have vertigo. This is not a game. When I come on here and I'm telling y'all stuff about taking care of yourself, when I come on here and I'm sharing testimony about the lessons that I've learned, I'm not playing. This is not a game to me. This is my job, quite literally, to encourage others, to hold space for others, and to share clinical expertise and personal story to be able to encourage and help heal and walk alongside people. This is also my day-to-day reality that I have to remind myself of these things as well. What I have been up against relationally, what I have been up against in my divorce and co-parenting, what I have been up against financially in starting my life from ground zero. When I left my previous marriage, I had $0. I was not employed. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had nothing. I had no job and no job prospects and nowhere to live. And I have been building my life since, from 2019 to now. And there's still some of those same blockages and same circumstances and same dysfunctional patterns that I am up against. This is not a game. I am well aware that what I'm saying is easier said than done. I am well aware that this comes with emotional charge, that sometimes you feel that you cannot escape and feel so heavy that it can sink you down. I am very well aware of that. And still, I come to encourage you that you get to take your eyes off of those circumstances, because it will cause your head to spin. And quite literally, that is what the situation did to me. Vertigo? For those of y'all who don't know, it's like a balancing thing, and the calcium crystals in your ears. And if you move too fast, turn your head too fast, turn over in the bed too fast, you literally feel like you can't keep track of where you are and what you're doing and what's going on. Even when you're laying down, it feels like you're going to fall off the bed. I'm in the middle of a king-size bed feeling like I'm going to hit the floor. ER. because I'm stuffing down the fear, the anxiety, the concern, the what is going to happen next. God, why did you bring me here to have me face these things again? When is it going to get better? The situation doesn't seem to be changing. But you know what? I woke up with a revelation this morning after getting out of the ER, coming back home, going to work, getting a good night's sleep last night finally, and waking up this morning. I woke up with the revelation that seasons change. Don't you worry. Seasons change. Today is the first day of summer. So I mean that quite literally, seasons change. Don't you worry. Don't you be offended. Don't you carry bitterness. Don't you sink down into depression. Don't you lose it. Don't you let that thing make your world spin. You better be encouraged. Seasons change. And whether it looks like it or not, seasons change. I'm telling you what I know. Even if you don't see it, we do not walk by sight. We walk by faith over here. Even if you don't see it, seasons change. And baby, when I accept that truth, now we're talking about clinical intervention here, right? Fact versus feeling. The fact is, today is the first day of a new season. Your feelings may not be in agreement, but your feelings, although they're real, although they're strong, although I want to validate those feelings, it's not the facts. The facts is today is the first day of a new season. So are you in alignment with that truth or not? I choose that I'm not going to be paralyzed in the last season. I'm going to shift with the change. I'm going to shift with the change of season. I'm going to walk into this new season. I'm going to continue my healing process. I'm going to continue to speak my mind. I'm going to continue to assert myself. I'm going to continue to walk in what God has called me to walk in and show up online, broken, confused, hurt, whatever, under attack. It don't matter. Ain't no devil in hell gonna stop me, and ain't no devil in hell need to stop you. I hope somebody is hearing me today. There's no devil in hell that can stop you. There is no devil in hell that can stop you. However it shows up, through a relationship, through your money, through your workplace, through your mind, through your emotions, there is nothing that can derail you. I'm so glad you needed to hear this because it's pressing on me heavy. And this is my lunch break. I have a client in 6 minutes, but I could not go on with the rest of my day without coming here and sharing this word with you that I got from my last session with a client. I can't do it no more. I can't be paralyzed anymore. And you got to come to that place where you're like, you know what? I know this is hard. I know what I'm up against. I know this is a struggle. I wish things were different. I wish things were different. I wish I didn't have to go through this. And I know some of you are wishing that too. I wish. If I had my way, I wouldn't be up against half of what I'm up against right now. If I had my way, my life would have played out the way that I wrote the script years ago. I did not want this. The things I'm up against, I did not want this. But here we are. Here we are dealing with things that are beyond our control, and that is life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is life. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you stopped scrolling. That is life. When things are beyond your control, that is life. You will not always have a grip on what's going to happen next. You will not always be able to see it coming, to predict what's happening, or to influence the outcome. And we got to release that need to control it. And we've got to decide that you are not going to be a victim to it. Damn, I wish things could be different, but they're not. But you know what can be different? This season. You know what can be different? Me. How I choose to show up. I'm not going to be a doormat. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not going to sit back and allow the waves of emotion to cause me to drown in this life. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to be who I say I am. I'm going to follow through with that no matter who likes it, who approves of it, or who got a problem with it. I am no longer concerned with people's response to who I am. I am no longer keeping the peace when it destroys the peace in me. I am not doing it anymore, and I will not. And maybe Maybe this circumstance is an opportunity to show yourself just how far you've come. And before you get to that breakthrough moment, before you get to receive your blessing, before you get the payout for all you've invested into your healing and your wellness, until you get the payout to keeping your mouth closed when you could have went off, for keeping the crowbar in the trunk when you could have busted out windows and tires. Okay, there's got to be a payout for that. All right, there's got to be a payout for the self-control, for the fruit of the spirit that have been growing inside of you. There's got to be a reward for that. Don't you know there's reaping and sowing? Don't you know there's seed time and harvest time? Don't you know that is a universal truth? It is a biblical fact. It is a scriptural understanding. No matter what faith system you have, or if you just look outside, you know when there is a seed, there's going to be fruit. And what we sow, we are going to reap. And that is the truth. And oftentimes we look at that as far as how karma or how reciprocity or how that's going to get the people who did us dirty. But I also want you to consider today that all of the positive seeds that you've sown, the seeds that you've sown into yourself for growth, the seeds that you've sown into the soil of your healing, the seeds that you've sown into your spiritual relationship and understandings, that those seeds are going to harvest fruit as well. And this hardship, this circumstance, this season may be where you get to see your fruit at full bloom. And then you get to harvest it. And then you get the blessings attached. And then you get to pick and eat off of that fruit. Your seeds are coming into full fruition. The work you've done will not be sown onto stony ground. They have taken root. You are learning, you are growing, you are blossoming, you are becoming, and there is fruit attached to that is so sweet that no devil in hell can sabotage it. So don't you walk away from all that you planted. Don't you mess this up by forfeiting what is yours. Don't you do it. I know it's hard to be assertive, to stand 10 toes down, no matter what the circumstance looks like. I know it's hard. I know it is. I'm in the middle of it. It's easier to concede. It's easier to give up. It's easier to stay paralyzed because then I don't have to risk anything. I'm encouraging you to risk it. Do the hard work to stay committed to you. Do the hard work. It's worth it. You're worth it. And if you're going to experience the blessings in this new season that starts today with a decision to walk with it in alignment with the change of seasons, you're going to forfeit it if you don't make that decision today. You've got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to. You got to. You get to. You deserve to. Push through this. Change don't always come easy. You got to push through this. You got to persevere. You got to stay committed. You got to stay down. You got to stay up. How you stay down and stay up at the same time? Listen, y'all know what I mean. Okay? You got to stay committed to what it is you say you want. You've got to stay committed to your healing. You've got to stay committed to your growth. So with tears in your eyes, I'm inviting you to embrace this new season. With tears in your eyes, I implore you to look your situation in the face. Look your circumstance in the eye and say, I will not be paralyzed by you. I will not be paralyzed by you. I got too much purpose in me. I got too much power in me. I've got too much passion in me. I've got too much in me. I got too much anointing on my life. I've got too much to lose. I got too much to lose. I will not give up. I will not be stuck. I will not let my life pass me by. It's a new season. And it starts today, regardless of what your situation looks like. Your new season starts today. Choose to embrace that truth, no matter what it looks like. I love y'all. God bless you. I pray that God's face shines upon you and gives you peace today as you walk into your new season. Receive it, no matter what it looks like. Receive your newness. Receive your newness and walk in it and have faith in it. No matter what the circumstance looks like, you are not a victim and you don't have to stay stuck or paralyzed. Be encouraged and receive your new season. I'll see y'all next time.